Hey, Honest community. Before we dive into this episode, we've got a quick free favour to ask. If you enjoyed the Honest Property podcast, please hit like, follow, and subscribe wherever you're listening from. It helps us grow, reach more people, and bring on guests that you want to hear from. Thanks for being a part of this. We appreciate you more than you know.
Hello and welcome to the Honest Property Podcast. We're your hosts, Becky and Ruth, the Honest Property Sisters, and we've built a multi-million-pound property portfolio over the last, I think it's 14 years now. We enjoy having unfiltered chats about building wealth, purpose, and freedom that actually feels good, because otherwise, what are we doing this all for? And in this episode, we're going to be talking about, what are we talking about, Ruth?
We are talking about why women are sold a very specific version of success, which is climbing the corporate ladder and getting promoted and earning more, just to keep going. But actually that women are really looking for another path, and they're opting out. And I've noticed this trend of opting out of corporate life, usually the time when they're family planning, not because they can't do it, it's because they don't want what comes with all of it. So they drop out. So the UK gender pay gap still sits around 12 to 14% overall, which is much wider at senior levels. So even when you win at the game that you're playing, you're not playing on any equal terms.
Yeah, this is a really interesting topic because I feel like most people, when they get to their 30s, that's when they're like, you get to your 20s and you're like, I'm gonna hustle and I'm gonna be, that boss.
That boss bitch.
That boss bitch. And then you hit your 30s and you're like, I actually want to chill out and would just like a cup of tea and to have an easier life where I can be present in nature and with my family. And that happens to a lot of people.
I mean, we have been that people, like
We would,
talking real experience. We have been that boss bitches, but and then came to a season of life where we needed a bit of soft girl.
yeah.
To
Oh,
level out all of the
100%.
boss bitching.
We're in soft girl era right now. Around 60% of senior women report burnout symptoms. That's from a McKinsey Lean In stat. We are getting to the top and realizing it's just not worth it. And the thing is, to get to the top, there's a lot of sacrifice that has to be made. So from a UK workplace sort of data standpoint, promotions are heavily tied to your visibility, your availability, and always being on, which basically means that you have to stay late, be present, and be consistent and just be available all the time. So it rewards the person who can show up the same way every day for years. But we know that that's not how women work. In our lifetime, that's not how we operate.
Yeah, I also want to say as well as like women in the workforce, they drop off at senior level at the same
Mm,
rate as they enter the workforce. A lot of the
mm,
time it's because of the childbearing years, because you lose
yeah,
flexibility when you climb higher, you lose more the more visibility is required of you, and the more your life has to revolve around work. So it just doesn't work.
yeah. So the system isn't neutral. It's built around, yeah, someone whose life basically isn't fully theirs and doesn't really have that much control over their own time. And the thing is, like, these workplaces are very much built to be around like a male-centric model. So it's a linear output, long uninterrupted hours in the same energy every day. But we all know, as women especially, or if you have women in your lives, we go up and down all the time
In our cycles.
in our cycles. It's just our nature. So we have fragmented time. Our energy goes up and down in waves. And we have a mental load running in the background because
Women a lot of the time have caring responsibilities. Whether
exactly.
you have children, you're probably caring for someone in the community or like your elderly parents. There's somewhere where you are just carry a lot of responsibility when it comes to the caring side.
And with that comes a penalty. So UK data does show that women's earnings drop by around 42% after their first child. 42. And that's about £65,000 lost over the span of 5 years. Um, Crazy. And nearly 1 in 4 women say their progression slows after returning from maternity leave. So
Yeah.
that is really typically the moment where a lot of women realize that this path isn't built to carry both their career and their life, and they basically have to choose one.
They have to choose, and that is so hard when you've come from your 20s doing the boss bitch era,
for such a long time. Yeah.
feeling so pulled and feeling like, oh, well, then why have I worked so hard to then get and then get rid of, like, lose it all? So how do you find that middle balance? There is no balance.
No.
So there's no balance, but it's basically choosing to keep working and to keep working so that you can outsource your childcare, or don't work the same hours that you did so that you can be there with your kid. It's like you feel like you're winning a losing battle constantly.
Yeah. So you'll lose visibility, you'll miss opportunities, and your progress in your work is just going to get slower / revert. But that's why there's a big shift in how women choose to earn money now. This is why we so believe that women are the best at investing. We're incredible investors because investing is one of those things that gives back your time whilst your money is still able to compound.
You're not using your time to earn more money. You're leveraging off the compounding of
Exactly.
your money working for you.
So that's why we're choosing self-employment, side businesses, investing, portfolio careers, because it is the only way and the best way to be able to take your control back. And then that means you're not waiting for someone else to choose you to work how they want you to work. You're choosing yourself in the way that you want to work. And that's exactly what's happened with Ruth and I.
Before we continue, here's a quick thought. Ever feel like there's just never enough time to focus on what really matters in your business? You don't have to do it all alone. As they say, a great team makes everything easier. That's why we've partnered with the Freedom Geek. Their talented Filipino VAs help us with tasks like admin and podcast editing, just like for this episode, giving us the freedom to focus on what really moves the needle. If you're looking to reclaim your time and to work smarter, then check out the Freedom Geek. All the details are in the show notes. Now let's get back to our conversation.
So the thing is, like, even with women that are starting their own businesses, and I'm not going to pretend that having a business doesn't mean hard work, and sometimes it means that you are working longer hours than you would be working I guess a more traditional corporate job. But the point is that you are able to have more control of choosing those hours. So if the flexibility is really the winning thing here, is that you have flexibility. If your child was sick, you can stop a majority of the time, stop what you're doing in your business to be able to look after your child, or figure out a solution to have your child looked after. You're not going, oh no, I have to be at work and I don't really know what to do, or I have to outsource someone else to do that,
It's just like the money that you earn from your business doesn't need to be so much because the value of your time is more precious. What's the point in earning more if you just don't control your time? It just doesn't make any sense. And a lot more people are realizing that now, and that flexibility is worth the real money.
And I will say, from my personal standpoint, for me, one of my biggest value is time, and time with my family, and feeling like like mine is being present with my kid. So it's not for me about like trying to earn the most money. It's trying to just be able to go, I get to do the school pickups. I didn't have to outsource that. I get to cook nutritious food for my family. I didn't have to outsource that. I get to be at home and make my home a home. Like, I love being a homemaker, but still being able to go, oh no, I have a business that I can also work at like several hours on as well, but I'm not outsourcing my actual life to anyone else. And that to me is like
that's true wealth.
True wealth.
Absolutely. And burnout has a cost because more money doesn't fix being exhausted all the time. So your short-term income might drop when you decide to do this, but your long-term skills increase, your ownership, which is everything, increases, and your optionality increases. So you're optimizing not for like this following year's salary, but you are optimizing your flexibility for the rest of your life. Like, yeah, your optionalities are just way wider. But yeah, let's not lie, that business has been very glorified.
Especially on social media.
Yeah, but it does take, many years for the business to come stable. You won't earn anything for the first couple of years. You just have to stick at it. There won't be a guaranteed pay, pension, or maternity support. So you can leave your job for freedom, but just end up a bit more stressed than before. So that is a double-edged sword here. You just got to make sure that whatever it is you're doing, you make it will work, and it will give you a sufficient amount for you to have all those values that you started it for in the first place, even if it takes maybe a couple of years to get there. So you can earn less, save less, and invest nothing, and then you're still no better off, really. In terms of financial security, you need to make sure you build those things into your plan as well. Yeah, this is why I always come back to investing, because it's just something you can automate quite from a very low margin. And then when you get to a point where you want to diversify, you can start investing in other assets like property, just like Ruth and I have. So our lifestyle design was always focused around freedom. So we had a pet care business and we have our property business. And through both, we were able to fund into each other when one lagged. But it was always
all of our values that we cared about, which was family time, being outdoors, and flexibility, time freedom. Those all and we were building wealth at the same time. It really did tick every single box at that stage of our life. Now that we've entered into, I think I don't know enough about like the motherhood penalty, but we're now in that stage of life where there is that penalty and you have to adapt how you work, how you live, how you invest during that season. I mean, I would say you never know what our business and life will look like in our 40s. It might be completely different priorities now, where actually we don't want all this time. We want to be more involved in
proactive, in work. But I think when it comes to investing, the moment that you are able to, you should, because it shouldn't be optional. If you don't invest, you're relying on that income forever, regardless of if it's your own business or you're working for somebody else's.
And regardless of whatever season of your life you're in, investing, like, you should do that throughout every season.
And studies show that women often outperform men once they do invest. Women are amazing at investing. So it's not a capability problem, but understanding it and educating yourself is where you can really help yourself. And on that note, we do have a space specifically called the Aligned Wealth Collective, where you can join a group of people, including ourselves, and ask us these questions, because it's just full of people and knowledge that Ruth and I have tried and tested ourselves, and other expert guests feature inside about how you can grow your financial, your aligned wealth in the long term. So definitely check it out. It's in the show notes down below. So no, the answer isn't just continue to climb a ladder anymore. So many more people are cottoning on that the real move is understanding and the system that is adaptable, and you can build something that actually works for you.
Yeah. The goal is more money, it's more options.
And investing ultimately is what actually builds long-term security. So yeah, don't forget, if you want to start building income and investing in a way that actually fits your life, there is a community. It's ours. It's a great space because it's not full of, I'm going to say it, it's not full of any Golf and Gucci guys. It's a very grounded space where people are seeking time and location freedom predominantly. So if that's you, join us, ask us all the questions. We're here for you. And thanks for listening to this episode, and we see you in the next one.
Bye.
Bye.